Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Hey there. Is it Misha? Hey, Misha, how are you doing? Good evening to you. Hey there, Shanice. Hello, Shanice and Jaslyn. Hey, Telsha, how are you? Jasmine. Hey, Chris, how are you doing? Hey, Nat Kelly, how are you? And Hot Trod, hi there. And who's this? Is Mary? Hey, Mary, how are you doing? Good evening to you all. Hey, Sarah from England. How are you doing? Beautiful England. Hey, Kelly, Bianco. Hey there. Hey, Jules, Colleen. Good to see you guys too. Hey, son. How are you guys doing this evening? Hey, Susie. I'm waiting for a response on the North Carolina. Hey, Jasmine. I'm doing great. Hey, Freedom. Adrian. Who we have here? Hey, Chris. Forrester. Okay, I just said hi. I'm sorry. You on break? Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much, Sarah. Uniquely made. How are you doing? I'm great. Hey, Arlene, my little angel. Hey, honey. That Hipsy Gypsy. How are you doing? Los Angeles. Hey, Rena. How are you doing? I'm doing great, Miss Telsha. I'm really looking forward to you coming up here to visit us. Australia. Oh, wow. Good. We're looking for you. Hey, Roxy. Oh, thank you so much, Sunshine. You can't wait to hear. I can't wait to hear that. I can't wait to hear the. Or I can't wait to read the questions. Oh, you're from Australia too. Oh, wow. Hi, John, John Doe, Mimi, Leah, Deborah. How are you? Good evening to you too. Marie, South Jersey. All right now. Good evening to you. Hey, John Connor. How are you? Hold on, that's John Connor from the Terminator. How's everyone doing this evening? Everybody doing all right? Everybody doing okay? Rome, Georgia. All right. Rome, Georgia in the house. Hey, Nubia, how are you doing? Beautiful queen. You said your ex-narc is like the Terminator. How's everyone doing this evening? So Debbie, okay, don't laugh at me, but DFW is Washington D.C., right? Snellville, Georgia. Okay. Everybody all right? I was gonna wait a few more minutes, then tell you I was gonna give you a time. Cause it is a little late. Newark, New Jersey. All right then, Miss Cindy. You are so welcome. Hey Amy. Texas in the house. Ohio. Okay. Chicago. By way of Detroit. All right. Hey, New Dawn Arises. How are you, sir? How are you? Exquisite Gem, how are you? I was trying to look for some familiar faces on here. So some of you guys are coming in here. Hey, Joyful. Fort Worth. Oh, duh. It is DFW. My bad. I knew that. I was just testing you, Miss Debbie. I was trying to make sure you knew where you were at. Hey, New York. New York City. Dubai. Oh, wow. Hello from Dubai. My mentor, when she travels to Africa, she goes through her and the adjutant, Miss Tasha, go through Dubai whenever they go back and forth to Africa, and they send us pictures so we can see all the beautiful pictures. Dubai is beautiful. Hey, Miss Cruz, and Dubai is beautiful, beautiful. Welcome to my YouTube. Thank you to tuning in to your live. Arizona, okay. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you, Leah. You listening hard tonight, Miss Ebony? Well, I'm reading hard tonight. All right. I think we got enough people want to start the questions. Y'all ready to start the questions? All right, Miss Telsha and New Dawn Arises. Where's Just Be Real? Where's she at? That's who I was waiting to come on in here. Hey Annie, Ann, I'm sorry. That's good. Seattle, you up here where I'm at. Oh, hey there, Just Be Real. That's what I was waiting for. Hey Lynette. Well, there you go. There goes my team of blockers. You guys ready? Can y'all give me 40 minutes, okay? Give me 40 minutes so I can answer questions. Oh, thank you, Lily. Is that 13 Rhett? Hey there. Hey, Freedom Lee. I was on live last week. Hey, Jeanette, how are you doing? Memphis. All righty, were you ready? All right. Come on, give me your questions. Is your first time is Just Lovely? Well, welcome. Oh, you're so welcome, Exquisite Gem. Hey, Kendra, how are you? Y'all ready? All right, what's your questions? You're so welcome, Miss Jeanette. Hey, Nina. Hey, Miss Dorothy, how are you doing, ma'am? Long time no see. What you got for me? How do you know a narcissist from a personality disorder? Narcissistic personality disorder is a personality disorder. Schedule for mediation? Okay, I missed that. Hey there, Miss Chat, how are you doing? Hey, Dan. How to stop trauma bond going no contact with family? Well, trauma bond you got to remember trauma bonding is just like what's the other trauma bond is, come on, you got to give me the other word for it. You know, I'm not behind camera studying before I get on here, but trauma bond is the same as oh, come on, y'all, give it to me. I've been teaching you guys. Tell me what trauma bonding is. It is okay. Stockholm. Thank you. Trauma bonding is Stockholm syndrome. If you read it, yeah, addiction. If you read, hey, Miss Debbie, if you read like yeah, Stockholm syndrome. So like if you read in the news like of people that have I think it started with the Patty Hearst situation. Go read that about the Patty Hearst. Thank you, Miss Shirley. How you doing, Miss Shirley, my diva? I was just thinking about you before I came on camera. I said, I wonder how she doing. But if you think about Stockholm syndrome, you know, Stockholm syndrome is someone has been so terrorized and so frightened that the only sorry you guys, that the safest thing to do is is not that you agree with what the kidnapper or the tormentor is doing, is the fact that that is a what's the word I'm looking for, that is a it's almost like a reaction in order to save your life. That is the only, if you know, to save your life is to bond with your tormentor or your captor, because you are in so much fear that you just comply with what they say and what they do, because your life is really in the hands, life and death is in the hands of that captor. And so in order to keep alive or stay alive, that person that has Stockholm syndrome or is trauma bonded to the person that holds the power to kill them or to let them live. And so they just they comply as a way to stay alive with that individual. And so a lot of times people, you know, have went to court where you were with that person, they were murdered, whatever, but that was hey, Miss Asia, that was a way that they stayed alive. And so when you trauma bond or you have Stockholm syndrome with a narcissist, you know, just like a Stockholm syndrome with a captor, you know, you're trying to stay alive, so you'll do hola to you too. Aloha, I'm sorry. But they, you know, when you're trauma bonded to a narcissist, you know, you have literally become emotionally dependent on that individual, because they take you through this hoop of they traumatize you, then they love you, they traumatize you, then they love you, they traumatize you, then they love you. It gets to a point where it's almost like you're confused. is to a point where you're confused because I want you to leave, I don't want you to leave. I don't like being around you, I do like being around you. You know, you have the power to let me live or let me die. Now, not every narcissist is a murderer, but you know, they will kill your spirit where you become so bonded with them that you even protect them and they're doing wrong. So they can see, you know, other people can see what is happening. You no longer can see the really the evil that they are because you are so emotionally hooked on this individual. This individual is almost like your everything. That's all you know. They've isolated you. You know, they have become your all in all the information, all the lot. They're the ones who make you happy, make you sad, you know, make you happy, make you sad. And so that when you're talking about healing from trauma bonding, sometimes that takes a long time. Just like people, I can't recall the case, but where the young girl was kidnapped at 11 or something like that. I think she was young, and she ended up having children by the captor, you know, and it took a while for her to heal. She speaks publicly about it now, and I think she's got 2 or 3 kids. She even watched one of her children die when she was young. And so, but it takes a while, you know, when you've been traumatized like POWs, you know, you're escaping from your prison. It takes a while to heal. You know, healing doesn't come right away. So a lot of people assume that when you get out of the relationship with a narcissist, that healing happens right away. It's like peeling an onion. You know, it takes a while for, yeah, the Elizabeth Smart story. There you go. But it takes a while for a person to heal from that, you know, because they have been totally manipulated and brainwashed. And so it takes a while to even build trust with people again, you know. So that's why I always advocate for counseling. You know, I advocate for counseling. Counseling is very, very important. You don't just sit in your house assuming that you're going to get over it and it's going to be all over. I'm just going to put it to the side. I'm going to put it under the carpet. I'm going to live my life. No, there is some residue. There is some debris, you know, from that type of trauma. So it takes a while to heal from something like that. You know, don't assume and stop being so hard on yourselves because you think that you're supposed to be a certain place at a certain time. Well, people that have been through bad relationship or toxic relationship, not all of them have been through narcissistic relationship. And narcissistic relationship leaves a horrible, ugly footprint in your life, in your heart. You know, it changes, you know, just like if you read about post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms, one of the biggest things that change your perspective about people, it changes your perspective about the world. It changes because you have seen some of the horrible things, the most horrible things have happened to you. So it changes your perspective, especially if you grew up in a household with narcissistic parents. Because of the fact that that's all you've seen, you know, how can you trust the world when that's all you know? That's all you've ever known. And for people to try to convince you that there's anything else, all you know is the facts of what you've experienced. And so people are really, really, yeah, it is really, for some people, it's really, really hard. Some people are still struggling after years of being out of the relationship with a narcissist. And so one of the things I tell you guys all the time, you know, be gentle with yourself. Just because one person is in one place and is healed in a certain place doesn't mean that you're supposed to be where they're at. Each person's experience is different. You know, there are some narcissists that were actually pedophiles. There were some narcissists that were actually murderers. There were some narcissists, you know, I mean, that were physically abusive, and there's some narcissists that were not physically abusive. All of them are mentally abusive, you know, so each one of you, you know, each one of us can handle only so much. What your trauma may not be the same trauma that I'm able to handle, or the trauma that I went through may not be the same trauma that you can handle. And so be gentle with yourself and take your time to heal. Yes, EMDR therapy is really good for PTSD. Yes, EMDR is really good with handling with treatment for post-traumatic stress disorder. And so be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Miss Debbie says 7 years and she's still healing from it. See? Yeah, Debbie said push-pull relationship. Absolutely. You Jeanette says she finally got the courage to delete all the photos. I'm proud of you. Good job. Hold on. You know, I'm always over here on YouTube answering all the questions. A lot of times I don't get over to Facebook. So let me look over here. Hold on. What kind of therapy do you need for narcissist abuse? You need some type of therapy dealing with trauma. Find you a trauma professional. Find you a person that specializes in trauma. My kids don't believe me because they don't see or hear him. He's all nice on the outside, and I had his computers checked. Oh my gosh, he lied about everything. Well, you got to remember that they love bomb their kids. And think about it, they're hidden in plain sight. So they're wonderful. And they're wonderful when it comes to tricking people. They're wonderful when it comes to manipulating their children. They give them money, they give them toys, they give them, anything that their little heart desires is what they give them. So of course, a child is going to think that's the greatest parent in the whole world. But yet, what they don't realize is that they're being emotionally manipulated, and some of them are being groomed. Some of them are actually being groomed to be sexually exploited, to be, touched the wrong way. Certain conversations that they have, or if you think that you've been being trauma bonded, then what do you think happens to the children? And a child is not old enough like we are. We're a little older. A child's mind has not totally developed, and they have not had life experiences to build up that resilience. They don't understand what their parent are. All they know is that they love that parent. They love that parent, and that parent is so vicious that they trauma bomb their own children. And they look at the child as an extension of themselves. And believe it or not, sometimes they even look at that child as an extension of you. So if they can't abuse you, they'll abuse the child because they're getting back at you, or they'll do something to the child in order to hurt you. And so that's how vicious these individuals are. So of course the kids are not going to believe it because that narcissist wants to hurt you. So some of them going to love bomb those kids. So of course they're, the kids are not going to experience the same thing you do, but all in all, for a fact that those kids are being love bombed, just like you were being love bombed. Hold on, let me scroll. Okay. Jeanette says, why do narcs make up fake Facebook counts to contact someone you had a previous relationship with? Oh, come on, they're narcissists. What you expect? What do you think? They're narcissists. What do you think? You're welcome, Miss Kelly. What do you think? My ex-narc husband only like one of the kids I have by him out of 6, and that's the one graduation. That's the one that graduated from University of Memphis, but he don't talk to none of them because that was the golden child. Looks good, makes that narcissistic parent look good. That's the one that they consider their favorite, and they discard all the other kids because the other kids are not making the narcissist look good, and that's a sad way to live. That's a sad way to live. That becomes the golden child. Hey there, Miss Emily. I'm glad you caught me live too. Kim says she was married to one for 25 years and you left. Congratulations to you, Miss Kim. Congratulations to you. And I hope that you have a wonderful healing process. Not saying it's going to be easy, but I really hope that you heal and you heal well, because people might need to hear your story to recover from that type of abuse as well. But I am so grateful that you got out of there, and congratulations to you. All right, let's see over here. John Connor said, yeah, she went through my entire house, my Instagram, looked at stuff from 2016, just insane. I mean, a narcissist, we call them nosy, but narcissists are all in your business. They want to know everything. They want total control. They want to know everyone you talk to, everyone you talk to. They want to know everything. Because trust you me, they want to smear your name too. Miss Valerie said, Doc, I commented on your video of the conference you held. It showed up on my feed, and I made a comment and got hoovered. The post made a poll, and he popped right in and voted for it. Wow. Don't pay no attention to him. As long as you're not responding to the hoover, you're doing good. They let you know that you're still being watched. Just don't respond to the hoover. Don't respond to the hoover. Joyful Style said, I've been waiting for you for 4 years. I love you. Oh, I love you back. John Doe said, why does my ex-narc refuse to give me closure and has already moved on with new supply? They're narcissists. That's what they do. Narcissists do not give you closure. You're not going to get closure from a narcissist, you guys. And I'm not saying that in a mean way, John Doe. But what I'm saying is narcissists are not going to give you closure. Narcissists want open doors. They believe in open doors. Imagine walking through your house and all your cabinets, your refrigerator, your doors, your screen door, windows. Imagine everything open. And then you walk through there trying to close doors and they come back behind you trying to open the doors back up. How frustrating can that be? How frustrating can that be? Well, narcissists are like that. They're not going to allow you to close. They're not going to allow you closure. They're not going to do that because they want to have control. They want to have a way back in when other things don't work. They triangulate, they hoover, they constantly go through people all the time, but they're always going to make sure they have a way to get back in. They're always going to, you have to find your own closure. You have to close the doors. Once you close the doors, it's not that easy for them to get back in and open the doors for you, for you, or open the doors behind you. So you have to close the doors. You're not going to get closure from a narcissist. They're not going to let you have closure. Never going to let you have closure. You have to do your own closure. And believe it or not, check this out. A lot of you are struggling with forgiveness. Now, I know some of you have said, Dr. C or Carmen, I would never, ever forgive. And I've said it before, it's like drinking poison and then waiting for the other person to die. And I was thinking about this before I came on camera. When I was in the military, and her and I are good friends now, but when I was in the military, I had a roommate, and she really hurt me. She really hurt. Oh my gosh, she hurt me so bad. She really stabbed me in my back, and I was hurt. And so I can say hurt now, but I didn't say hurt then. I was ticked off, but she really hurt me to a point where I was going to find her and fight her. And what ended up happening was I was so angry that I began to become enraged to a point where I just started hating her. And this was like in the 90s, And so for 8 years, I hated this girl. I hated the color car she drove. I hated the car that she had. I hated what she looked like. And anybody else that looked like her, sounded like her, came from the same place she came from, the music that we used to listen to, the way that she laughed, everything. And it bothered me because I had no peace. I had no peace because I really hated this individual. And one day I was sitting in my office when I was here at Joint Base Lewis McCord. I was sitting in my office, and one day I made the decision. I said, you know what? She hurt me 8 years ago, and I'm still harping, and it's bothering me because everyone that looks like her, everyone that smelled, I knew the perfume she wore. I knew how she laughed. I knew how she joked. I knew certain things that she said. I knew that, Army is not really that big as people think it is, but like people that came in contact, and she was actually funny. Her and I were really funny. We were just comedians together. So anyone that joked similar to her, but it bothered me. And what happened was I was sitting in my office one day and I made a decision to forgive her. And what I did was, it wasn't the fact that she and I'm not saying this is what you have to do with the narcissist, but it wasn't the fact that she was wrong for what she did. I took it upon myself and I decided, I said, it's wrong for me to have hated her for this long, and I'm miserable. I'm miserable because I can't let her go out of my mind. She still has control over my emotions because she's still running around in my head. She's running around in my head and she still has control over my emotions years after whatever happened. So in the military, we have ways connecting with people. But the crazy thing about it was I hated her so much that it almost like I drew her to the base because she ended up being stationed right here with me. And one day I was running and she ran right by. I almost fell out. Boy, I was so heated. I was angry. I was angry. Y'all, I was angry. And then one day I said, I know this girl is not on this same base. I saw her walk by me one day. I said, I know this girl is not on the same installation. It's almost like I pulled her to me. And so one day I just finally decided to go on the computer and I sent her an email. And what I said was, I said, you know what? This is what I did. It wasn't the fact that I was apologizing for what she did, because what she did was wrong. She messed up a good relationship, a good friendship. So I emailed her and I said, hey, I said, this is Carmen. I said, I just wanted you to know that that I apologize. I apologize because I thought you and I were friends. And the thing that happened for so many years back, it hurt me because I thought we were friends. And I hated you. For the last 8 years, I have hated you. And I was wrong. And I'm asking you to forgive me for hating you the way that I hated you, all these years. And so I sat and I was thinking to myself, because I hadn't, I was a little ghetto at the time. And I was thinking, I said, if she says anything crazy, I know exactly what unit she in. I'm going out and we're fighting, And so I came in the next morning and she had responded. So I sat in front of the computer and I was thinking to myself, man, I was, I hope this girl didn't say nothing crazy. So I took my chance. I clicked on it. Do you know what this person said to me? What she said was, is she said, "You have no idea how long I have waited to talk to you because you're more woman than I am because you're apologizing for something that it was actually my fault that it happened in the first place." She said, "I have seen you." She said, "I have seen you around this installation. I've seen you. I knew where you worked at. I tracked down where you worked at. And there were so many times I wanted to come find you and apologize, but I was afraid of how you're going to react." She said, "You are more woman than I am to apologize for something that you didn't even do. And you don't owe me an apology. I owe you an apology because there were things that happened in my life that made me feel guilty over what I had did to hurt you and break up our friendship." She said, "I would like to ask you for your forgiveness." Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen with the narcissist. That's not what I'm saying, y'all. Okay. No, she wasn't a narcissist, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that this is going to happen with the narcissist. You see what I mean? Sometimes you have to forgive people and not reconnect because after that, me and her were friends. We were cool again. You know what I mean? And what she did was horrible, but me and her were cool after that. I kept up with her for a few years. And then after that, she disappeared. You know, I never thought about it again. But check this out. I'm not saying that you have to do this with the narcissist because I'm telling you, if you connect with a narcissist or you go back to a they're going to use it against you. So I'm not saying to reach out to a narcissist and apologize. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you have to come and you have to have your own closure to forgive in your heart. You have to, yeah, acceptance. You have to accept the fact of who they are. That's just like, and I always say this, in the DSM, in the past, hey Miss Dawn, in the past, there was a disorder or the mental disorder, and it was called retardation. Mental retardation. But they changed the name of it to cognitive and intellectual delays. So and just like retardation, it's the same thing, but it's cognitive or intellectual delays, and is mild, moderate, and severe. So remember, it used to be mild, moderate, and severe retardation. Now you could have a 50-year-old woman or a 50-year-old man, but their mentality is that of a 9-year-old. How can you be angry with them because they're not developed to their 50-year-old? You're looking at them like, at your age, act like you're 50 years old. But in their mind, they're mentally delayed to like 9 years old. Now, with a narcissist, a narcissist looks like a regular human being. I mean, well, human being, they are human. I know you guys want to argue with that, but they're people, but emotionally they're delayed. It's like they're emotionally retarded. They're emotionally delayed. Cognitively, a lot of them are advanced. So some of them are very intelligent, but emotionally they are delayed. They're hindered. They do not know how to connect with people. They've learned by mirroring other people. So they've created their own little personality. That they're dysfunctional. Not all of them are delayed, not mentally delayed, but some of them do have other disorders, but it gets to a point where you have to come to terms with, I don't care how angry you are over all these years, is not going to change who they are. And you can walk around miserable, 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 and be angry and enraged and unforgiving, but really who you're hurting is yourself. And it really hinders your progression. It hinders your healing process. I'm not saying, now some of you have children by the narcissist. Now that is a totally different dynamic because you have to learn to maneuver and not get pulled into the hoop. Oh, that sounded kind of cute. Hey, you have to learn to maneuver without falling for the Hoover. And so some people are not, that sounded good, huh? But some of you have to learn to maneuver without falling into the Hoover. You have to avoid the Hoover because they're going to Hoover you. That is who they are. That is what they do. You have to be strategic because you have to literally outthink them. The way they're expecting you to react, you cannot react. You have to think and you have to respond. You have to come to grips and the terms in your heart. For those of you that do not have children with the narcissist, to forgive them and let them go. and put your walls and your blocks up so that they can never have entry point in your life ever again. Those of you that, yeah, boys in man body, exactly, or little girls in grown people body, grown women body. But you got, yeah, it's a chess, it's the best chess game of your life. Absolutely. And you're forever, if you have children with a narcissist, forever you're going to be in this chess game. But I'm telling you guys, it'll get to a point. Yeah, unforgiveness is like taking poison yourself, wanting the other person to die. Exactly. Now, I know for some of you guys it's still fresh. You see what I mean? There's not, you have emotions, happiness, joy, anger, these are real emotions. You see what I mean? So don't let anyone tell you you don't have the right to be angry. You do have the right to be angry, but how long are you going to be angry? Because the longer you're angry, the more bitter you get and the more enraged you get. And you start having problems where you start hating like a certain, think about how racism works. Sometimes it's ignorance. You hate a group of people and you don't even know anything about them. You know what I mean? But sometimes something has happened, and I've met people where something has happened by a specific race or ethnic group, and they hate the entire group. When I was in the military, the way that they taught us is that even though you are one person, when you do something wrong, your wrong represents an entire military, and it included Air Force, Marines. All of a sudden, you become all 5 branches of the service. One thing will make the whole military look bad. One thing. And so we always were taught, when you go out, always remember that the things that you do, people tend to generalize, and everybody in the military is this way. Everybody in the military. I remember I walked in the store one day, and I always pull my hair back. So in the military, I always had my hair pulled back in the butt. So my hair was always slicked back, and I didn't wear a lot of makeup. I had like eyeliner on and lip gloss. And I remember this lady was standing, she was in construction, and she was standing and looking at me. And she said, I always thought women in the military were butch. She said, I always thought that women in the military were manly and they were never feminine. She said, you're the first feminine soldier I have ever met. And I was like, really? She was like, you were the first. She said, you smell good, because I wore perfume. She said, I had Bath and Body, but she said, you smell good, and you look like a girl. You look feminine, like you don't look hard or anything. She said, you could tell you're confident, but you don't look hard. She said, you look feminine. So think about it. One person represents an entire military. So one person, you remember that one narcissist does not represent everybody. You had an experience, or some of you had experience with more than one narcissist. You know what I mean? That you have to forgive in your heart, and you have to cut that off. Don't let them back in your life, and learn your lesson. But you have emotions, and your emotions are real. And so if you are hurting, if you are angry, yeah, you have the right. Those are your emotions. Someone has violated your boundaries. Someone has wasted your time. Some of you, 25 years of your life has been wasted. 40, 50 years of your life has been wasted. Some of you, 3 weeks of your life has been wasted. That's still time that you can't get back. You can't get that time back, but you have to take it upon yourself to learn to forgive and let go. Now, those of you that have children by the narcissist, you have to learn to maneuver without falling for the Hoover. That's our saying from now. Learn how to maneuver without 13 minutes. Okay, learn 28 years. 28 years of your life wasted. They'll bet 27 years of your life wasted, Mr. Bill. 27 years. The best thing that come out of all those years is your children. That's the best thing that probably, if you have children, was the best thing that came out of that. That's the only good thing. And then your knowledge. The wisdom and the knowledge you got after 1 year. That's 1 year of your life, 1 year and 2 months of your life that was wasted. You see what I mean? What could you have been doing with 27 years, Mr. Bill? Is it 2.5? Let me look. 2.5 years. 14 years of your life. You see what I mean? 63 years. 63 years? Oh my gosh. 63 years. 63 years, Miss Rose. 63. Yeah, I think you broke the record on here. 8 years, 20 years, 30 years, 6 years. Look at that, 29 years. What could we have done with 63 years? What could we have done with 20, 30, 29 years? 2 years, 2.5 years, 6 years, 26 years, 12, 14 years. You see what I mean? Look at all these numbers, 13 years. Hey, JD. Imagine. So why would you 16 years? Why would you not be angry? 8 years. Why would you not be angry? Of course, you have the right to be angry, but you have to set a time. There's a time to be angry. There's a time to grieve. There's a time to mourn. 53 years. 50 years. Wow. 3 years, 7 months, 22 years, 30 years, 3 years, but two healing. Wow. Think about it. Why would you not be angry? So, how can anybody tell you you don't have the right to be angry? But you got to remember all those years that you wasted. What can you do with those years to help somebody else? Because you have some knowledge and experience that people need. 25, 21 years. 21 years. Wow. Look at you guys. 27, 28. Think about it. You mean, check this out. I went to college for, let me think. Okay, let me think. I went to college from 1995 to 2013. And I came out with 4 degrees. Imagine going to college, 4 degrees. Associate, bachelor's, master's, a doctorate. So my doctorate, I think I was like 6 years in itself. So from 1995 to 2013, 6 years it took me to get my doctorate. So those of you wondering if I was a real doctor, I did a dissertation and I went to school for 6 years to get my doctorate. Yes, I am a doctor. Yes, I hold a doctor's degree. And whoever was, somebody left a nasty comment, said I couldn't pronounce word, but I got a doctor's and you don't, right? But anyway, 6 years to get my doctor's degree. Imagine had I went to school from 95 to 2013 and I got my kindergarten certificate. What will y'all think? Dang, what were you doing? So imagine if I went to school from 2005, not 2000, if I went to school from 1995 to 2013 and I came out with a kindergarten certificate to advance me to the first grade. Y'all would think I was dumb. Like, what's wrong with her? Y'all would think I was delayed, right? So for you guys that have went through all this, 63 years, 50 years, 20, 78 years, wow. But see, Rose, you can't say that. Miss Rose said, lady, I'm old now, 78 years old, nobody wants me. But see, you got to think about what's coming out your mouth. Because what comes out of your mouth, hold on, my mentor just said, what's in your mind comes out of your mouth. What is in your mind that is coming out of your mouth? What is in your heart that is coming out of your mouth? Who told you at 78 years old, nobody wants you? And I see your picture. Who told you that? Who told you that nobody wants you? The only reason why you think that way is because somebody made you feel that way. But what is in your mind and what is in your heart? Which one is a troll, Renee? Who's a troll? Tell me who the troll is and just be real. Telsha and New Dawn Arises to catch him. But 78 years old, New Dawn Arises, Miss Rose said that you're a teacher. He said you are a teacher now. But Miss Rose, you have some knowledge. You're 78 years old. I think you are the most mature person. I think you're the most mature person that's on here. I think you're older than anybody else on here. Check this out, Miss Rose, though, but you have some knowledge and some wisdom that us young people need. Don't ever count yourself out. 78, she's doing, see, Irma says 78 years old, you're doing good. And Miss Rose looks good too. Don't let her fool you. If you guys see her over there on Facebook, Miss Rose looks good too. Miss Rose, you told yourself that because of your experiences and because of the people you were connected with and because a narcissist planted seed in your heart and in your mind to make you feel less than. Everybody doesn't think that way, Miss Rose. You'd be surprised. There's some people that got married at 80-something years old. We have a mother in our church right now. One of them is in her 80s, one in her 70s, and they look good. Godly women. I don't think they're looking for a husband, though. But what I'm saying is that, Miss Rose, don't let your heart and your mind speak out of pain. Don't speak where you at. because you have some knowledge and some wisdom that we as young people need. I may be on here teaching, but do you know how much knowledge you have, Miss Rose? Do you know how much knowledge you have for young people that are dating or that are wanting to date or that are in marriages? You know how much wisdom you have? Don't ever count yourself out, because you are a very valuable commodity in our society. Not are you a very valuable commodity, but you are with a narcissist and you're 78 years old. Do you know how much you can teach us? You know, you can teach us some stuff. It doesn't matter whether you have a college degree or not. It doesn't matter whether you're a therapist or not. But you have some wisdom, just like my diva on here. You guys got some wisdom that is you are a very valuable commodity. Don't look at your age and assume that nobody wants you, because you're beautiful. You're a beautiful lady. You are speaking from the pain in your heart and the pain in your mind. I told someone today, run, and I was told I was harsh because you're hurt. You speak out where you are, you speak from pain. And so you are hurt. And so you're speaking from pain. But Ms. Rose, maybe you need to find a good counselor. You got to find a good counselor that can work with you to get you out of where you are. Because number one, you're a beautiful woman. You have a lot of experiences. Ms. Dawn, hold on. Let me click on what Ms. Dawn was saying. Oh man, I missed it. Where'd you go? Give me a minute. Okay. Miss Dawn said, Miss Rose, I feel that way at 48. Then I remind myself of my 80-year-old Mill who found her soulmate. She had him for 10 years, made the 30 with something, no matter. Miss Rose, Dawn is my classmate. She was my classmate. Nick said, Miss Rose, you are so strong to come back from where you have been. But look at the community you are a part of. I have you. I'm further along meeting you. Oh, mother-in-law. Oh, mother-in-law. Okay. There isn't good narc counselors in Ohio. Find a trauma professional. But Ms. Rose, you're connected to a good community too. Because a lot of the people that hear on Facebook and a lot of the people that are here on YouTube, they're very encouraging people. Don't let, and the nice thing about you guys, what I really love about you guys, oh, it's a bad word. But what I really love about you guys is that when people are hurting and they come on here and say that they're hurting, 5 minutes, okay. But what I really love about the people and the tribe members here, our family right here, is that when somebody comes on and they're really, really hurting, you guys take the opportunity to encourage them. And, sometimes I can't come on and respond to everybody, but a lot of you guys are so encouraging, that you guys help somebody out, especially like Miss Rose. Miss Rose, don't ever think that nobody wants you. Don't say that. Don't say that nobody wants you, okay? Don't say that, because you're speaking from the brokenness of your heart and your mind, because that's what he had you believing. And what a narcissist has you believing is not the truth. Always remember that. How can we stop attracting narcs? Please, any tips? Get counseling. You need to get into counseling. You need to find out what's going on with you. You need to find out what's going on with you. What kind of family background do you come from? How were you raised? What were you taught to think about relationships? What were you taught to think about men and women? What were you taught to think about roles? Because a lot of times, growing up in a household, boundaries, growing up in a household with narcissists as well does not teach you real relationships at all. And so sometimes when we recognize where we come from, we have to work on ourselves to change the way that we've been trained, because that's all you know. That's all you know. So you get with a good counselor. Hey, Miss Maria, is a counselor that specializes in PTSD and trauma good for narcissist abuse? It is. But do remember, though, a lot of trauma counselors don't understand narcissist abuse. And so you can ask them. If you go to, if you guys put this link up for me, I do have a sponsored link. I'm not accepting any clients at this particular time through BetterHelp. That if you go to betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen, on there, the way that I set it up is people that are looking for counselors that specializes in narcissist abuse. You also get a 10% discount. It is an out-of-pocket expense, but it's a nominal fee. And if you tell them that you're having some financial difficulties, they will assist you with grants. So just remember that, okay, and go check it out. But you can ask counselors, what do you know about narcissist abuse? Because it's domestic and violence perpetrated by a person that has narcissistic personality disorder. Ask them like that. Miss Please forgive me if I pronounce it wrong. Is it Juana? I love these lives. My therapist specializes in trauma abuse, and the situations I describe leave him saying, wow, welcome to my world of narc abuse. Yeah, some of them still need to be trained about it. Some of them need to be trained about narcissist abuse. Mrs. Rose, you are beautifully made. You are a child of the king. There you go. See? Dr. Romani was talking about that narcs are born with enough empathy. They just choose not to use it. Is that true? Let me tell you this, Ms. Irma. Usually when I saw that, usually when I come on YouTube and Facebook, because of the fact that I know that many of you are not, hey, Miss Sharice, many people are not believers, and I have confessed my faith. I am a Christian, I am a believer. And for those of you that saw the video, I did that on a Christian forum. Normally what I do is I leave that to my mentor to discuss narcissist abuse from a spiritual and biblical perspective. And normally I try to stay within the experiential and clinical side, and I make it more layman's term. I make it easy to digest, so I don't try to, use these big words and everything. Now, because I'm a believer, my views are a little different. And the reason why I say my views are a little different is because of the fact that in childhood, whether they've been traumatized, whether they have been not taught to have empathy because of who they were raised by and shut those emotions off, they don't have emotional empathy. And the reason why I say that, now keep in mind, now some of you may disagree. I understand that we all do not worship the same. We do not all believe the same. It's time, okay, this is the last comment I'm gonna make, but we don't worship the same. We don't believe the same. All of us have our own spiritual beliefs. We have our own, belief system, spiritual belief. Now, me as a Christian, I go by, is it 2 Timothy 3rd chapter? 2 Timothy 3rd chapter, if you read it from an amplified version, actually tells you in the latter times, people will be void of human emotions. It says that. So now this is my belief, and it said people will be void of human emotions. They will be narcissistic. They will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money and stuff. And so that's because this is my belief system. For me, it's a fact. If you go Hijari, if you actually go now, Hijari, allow me to ask you a question if it's okay with you. Hijari, are you Christian or are you Muslim? So I make sure that I say the right thing, because if you actually go to, you guys, I have 2 Facebook pages. One of them is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. That's where some of you guys are on over here. So over here, you guys are my psychological health. I have a second one that is my book, which is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Give me extra 15. But Overcoming Narcissist Abuse is my book Facebook page, and on there I usually post other forums besides forums like this when I actually go and minister in a church environment or church setting. If you look on there on Overcoming Narcissist Abuse, I did do one because it was speaking to the women, and I talked about narcissistic personality disorder from a biblical perspective. And because I'm grounded in biblical principles, for me, if you read, those of you that don't believe in the Bible, that's fine, no big deal. But if you actually look in 2 Timothy, the 3rd chapter, and read it from an amplified version, it talks about that narcissistic spirit. And that's what I talked about on that forum. And so I do not believe that they have cognitive empathy. They may have been born with the ability to empathize, but whatever happened and occurred to them at a young age and how they developed from that point forward shut off those emotions, shut off that cognitive empathy to be able to connect with people. And so I strongly believe they have cognitive empathy, meaning they understand how to manipulate emotion. They understand emotion. They know if I do this, it makes you do this. So they understand the emotions and how they work, and that's how they That's how they manipulate emotion. That's how they master other people's emotion. But the cognitive, I mean, the emotional part where they actually connect with people and bond with people, they don't have the capacity to do that. That oxytocin that is in their brain when a woman has a child, she releases oxytocin, which helps her to bond to her baby. That's the same oxytocin that's released when you are becoming addicted to a substance or alcohol. That's the same that same chemical that's being released that creates addictions. That's the same chemical that's released when you are being trauma bonded, where you become addicted to the narcissist. And then, of course, that's that dopamine and serotonin that's being activated while you are being trauma bonded. So I do not believe that narcissists have emotional empathy. They know how to pretend and make you feel like they do, but I do not believe that they have emotional empathy. But that's just me. That's just me. So I didn't know it was people in the world like that. I mean, think about it. You have sociopath and psychopaths, which are actually under cluster B. They're called anti-personality disorder. So they're under cluster B. And so those are just as bad as the narcissist, and a lot of them don't have a problem killing you and then going to dinner and eating with their families, you know. So, all right, before they throw the clock at me, I just wanted to make the last comment in reference to that. Thank you, Ms. Rose. Thank you so much. I know what happened to him, his father ran around and his mom took it out on her boys. See what I mean? Excellent actors. Excellent actors. Oh, thank you, AB. Thank you so much. Yeah, you'll be free, but it still takes work. It still takes work. Hey, woo, ladybug. They don't have personalities. No, they are a collection of everybody's personality. So they don't have the ability to come out and be themselves because of the fact that they don't know how to be themselves, and they take upon everybody else's personality to create themselves. They create themselves, and it is a collection of other people's personalities. That's what they do. So, hey, I'm gonna go because they'll start throwing clocks and cutting up over here on YouTube, and so the trauma bond also shrinks the amygdala. Yep. It is messed up. You love my bracelet? Thank you. There was a conference this weekend, and they gave all the ladies the bracelets. It's really cute. Yeah, y'all do be throwing the clock at me. Just be real. You'll start it, and then Telsha start doing it. The only one that act right is New Dawn Rises. He the only one don't throw a clock at me. He just watch y'all throw the clocks at me. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. I am so honored as always. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Miss Victoria Romano. Victoria Romano. Pretty. Thank you guys so much as always for being here. You guys are really awesome. I really, really, really appreciate you guys for always. See, there she go. What I say. Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. That's my book, y'all. So you can find my book on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon, and it's called Unmasking. I don't have it sitting over here. Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. I'm gonna order some more because some of you guys said that you would like for me to sell it and then send it to you and sign it. My Facebook page. So the Facebook page that you guys are on over here on the other side is Psychological Health Consultants and Services. On that Facebook page, I don't post other speaking engagements, usually because that's my professional one. So I'll post these videos and I come on live for these videos, for educational purpose. But then I have a second Facebook page. I want you guys to go over there to the second Facebook page, which is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. And you'll see my picture on there and you'll see my book at the top. But on there, whenever I do other speaking engagements on other platforms besides, like this right here, those of you that are interested when I do minister and talk about these topics from a minister view, you guys are welcome to go over to Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. As you guys know, they just had the Mending Souls conference last week, and I did record it, and it's on the other Facebook page, which is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. No, I'm not a psychologist. I hold a doctor of education in counseling psychology. My emphasis is counselor education and supervision. And then I'm a licensed mental health counselor, and I'm also a certified clinical trauma professional. And so, in other little certifications with the with the YWCA, domestic violence and sexual assault, and I also was a sexual assault advocate in the military. And so, I do a lot of trauma work, but I do a lot of advocacy. When I say advocate, I mean I do a lot of work dealing with people that come out of trauma and domestic violence. That's my passion. And so obviously you see that one of the biggest niches that I have is dealing with people that have been abused by an individual that has narcissistic personality disorder, because it's very different than just the average domestic violence that you would experience. And so, well, thank you so much, Miss Kim. I appreciate you. You guys are the best. You guys are the best tribe. I really appreciate you guys, because you guys have been around. Some of you guys have been around ever since. Thank you so much, Miss Victoria. Some of you guys have been around since I first started in 2018, and I really, really appreciate. Do two narcissists have narc kids? Sometimes, and sometimes not. Sometimes they have empaths. 160 people in the room hit the like button. Oh, thank you. I'm not accepting clients on betterhelp.com right now. But you guys are welcome to go on there, and it is a sponsored link for me, and you will get a 10% discount. And if you are having financial difficulties, you let them know, and they will give you a grant. They'll work with your income and give you a grant. So, you guys go check it out. Is betterhelp.com/Dr. Carmen, and my book is Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. And so you guys share these videos, okay? Share these videos, because you never know. Let me tell you something, and I'm gonna get off. I promise. Just be real and Telsha, clock bangers. So check this out. There are people that have emailed me, and it just so happened. And I wish they were here. If they're here, I hope they respond. But one lady had just tried to hang herself. See, there you go. One lady had just tried to hang herself, and she was so desperate. I think she cut her wrists, and she was sitting on the floor, and she wasn't even, she was not subscribed to my channel, but she was sitting on the floor, and she had tried to hang herself. It didn't work, so she cut her wrist, and she was sitting on the floor, and all of a sudden my video popped up. And it just so happened that when my video popped up, I was talking about her situation at that very moment. I had a second person that emailed me, and they had stabbed themselves in the stomach, y'all. Stabbed themselves in the stomach. They would not subscribe to my channel, and the video popped up. And I was talking about their situation. Some of you guys shared the videos, and when you shared the videos, some people saw the videos, and they emailed me and said that they were thinking about committing suicide. They were going to go commit suicide. You never, ever, 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 ever know who you guys are helping, because when you share, somebody else shares that may not be on your page. It may show up on their feed. It may show up like, say, you're a friend of somebody's, but you're not a friend of all their friends, and it shows up on one of their feeds. And then what ends up happening is they'll share it, and someone sees it come up on their feed, and it be the right moment at the right time for their situation. So you never ever know. I had a lady that was being held hostage in her home in New York that contacted me and needed help getting out of the situation. I didn't know where she was at. I didn't get any more information, and all she could do was watch the videos to strengthen herself to leave. I don't know whether she left. I never heard from her again. I'm praying that she did. But you never know who you're helping and where the video pops up at the right moment. At the right moment. And so when you guys, me or anybody else that talks about narcissist abuse, share the video. Just share the video. You never know who's sitting, and it shows up on their feed, and they're so distressed. They could be suicidal, homicidal. You don't know what you'll stop. You don't know that sometimes the answer could be just in the hello, beautiful. How are you doing? And it feels like they're talking, that I'm talking right to them, or anybody else that you listen to. So every time you watch videos about narcissist abuse, if you like it, share the video. Like the video, share the video. You never know who you're helping, you guys. You never know whose life you're saving. You never know who you're giving answers to, because some of you guys had no answers until you started watching the videos. And here I am bobbing my head and putting my glasses on and laughing at Telsha and Just Be Real and everything. And sometimes people don't go anywhere, and don't have anybody, and then they just sometimes they enjoy the information. They're getting the information, and at the end, I'm messing with Telsha and them, and they're laughing at the jokes that I'm or a story that I've told. So sometimes people need a laugh, or sometimes people need the information. Sometimes people just just need to see me bobbing my head on the camera, whatever. But sometimes people just need a smile on their face. You know what I mean? So sometimes when I'm bringing some really hard information, I love to laugh. So they just need a laugh. Sometimes somebody needs a glimmer of hope just to talk about forgiveness or anything. You know what I mean? I'm a human being just like you guys are. I want to pop somebody in the eye just like you guys want to. But how can I teach you guys something if I'm not going to do what I'm teaching y'all to do? You see what I mean? Aisha, what does that mean, dear? I wait up on some. Oh, thank you, New Dawn Rise. I appreciate you. And this is a sir, and he is here supporting me, and I truly appreciate it. I really do. You know who I'm missing? I'm missing Stevie Banana. Where's Stevie Bananas at? He's always here. But hey, you guys, you have my books. Oh, thank you. God is watching you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys. Yeah, thank you, King. That's right. New Dawn Arises. I really appreciate you. I mean, he is faithful. Every time we're on here, New Dawn Arises is on here. Stevie Banana. I don't know where Stevie Banana's at, because I'm not used to not seeing him. But he's always on here. Mr. Charles is in the other room. And then Cinnamon Bun was over here kicking. Whenever I come on camera, my cat comes over here because he knows I'm on camera. So he purposely makes noise. And I can't catch him right now. I would bring him on camera. And then Mr. Charles is in the other room. No, she's not on. She's not on. She's not a clinical. She's not a clinician. And so the only way that you can get on BetterHelp.com to do counseling is if you are either a certified or a licensed therapist. And so you are welcome, Queens. Thank you for accepting me. Oh, he's a sweetheart. So hey, I'm ready to get off. Okay. Thank you guys, as always. Thank you so much. Do I have a video on talking to your child's counselor about what went on before my ex left? I don't. I don't think I do. I don't think I do. I would have to look through there. Just look through. I know I got a lot of videos, y'all. I got to group the videos. I'm sorry. It's just so many of them now. I got to go back and group them and put them in and organize them for you guys. Just give me a minute. Let me do it, okay? So I appreciate you guys for being here. Thank you so much. I'm going to get off for real. So thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys. Thank you, New Dawn Arises. Thank you, Just Be Real. Thank you, Telsha, for always being here and making sure. And Mr. Bill. Thank you, Mr. Bill. We have another king over here. Thank you, Mr. Bill, for joining us and being here and not being intimidated by all these strong women that are on here. Thank you so much for even, sharing some of your story with us. You guys, you know what? I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for being with me. And I'm ready to go to bed, y'all. I'm ready to go to bed. Thank you guys, as always. You guys go and be the greatest you that you can always be. Okay? You guys, I love you guys.